Hello, good morning, good evening, good day, good afternoon, and aloha. Welcome back to another episode of the Lou Reviews edition, the Church of Science of the Church of Ufology edition of Lou Reviews. Welcome back, you guys. As you may or may not notice, today we are on a different streaming service. I'm no longer using StreamYard. I am streaming to both YouTube and Twitch live at the same time. I figured it out. We got it working. Really happening. Thanks. Loving this new show. Thank you so much for the love. Appreciate it. Let's see here. We've got Lord Ludacris Plaid in the house. You know what? Let's do this. Do I see everyone's chat up in here or just the Twitch chat? I'm wondering if I could get, I might have to get some sort of, what do they call those things? Plug-in, so I can see everyone's chat here at the same time. But I'm working on this. Yeah, this is first time. So thank you guys so much for being patient. Thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it. Okay, so what are we talking about today? What are we gonna discuss? If you want to hear about a little bit more about Sean Cahill and his UFO video that he filmed and then told nobody that he shot it at Lou Elizondo's house, he just mysteriously put it out there for everyone to check out and be mysterious about. Didn't give location, didn't give any facts about it, and then Reddit and the internet put two and two together and figured out that it was actually on Lou's property that he saw this UFO, this strange object, this UAP. So if you want to hear more about that, stay tuned. We're going to get to that in a second. Before we do, though, of course, like, share, subscribe, do all of that algorithm stuff. There are tip jars throughout the entire process, both in the links in the description below and everywhere else. So you guys know how to do that stuff. So I appreciate all of the love that you've shown me for so far, especially for this show, and the addition to talking UFOs more than just once a month. Let's see here. Okay, so, thank you so much. What was it? Who was that? Who was that just Seamus Malarkey? Thank you so much for following. Appreciate it. Want to also say thank you to Elder God Games for the follow on Twitch. Really appreciate it. It's always fun when you guys donate and follow. There's little things that come up here, so that's always fun. FPS 2142, thank you for the follow on Twitch. Really appreciate it. That's the cool thing about Twitch, you guys, is that it tells me every time somebody follows. So, we get to celebrate that. Elder God Games, I think we already did that. Or Simon Fly, DNB, thank you, Simon Fly, for the follow. Really appreciate it. Thanks for being here. Let's see here. So we've got, man, people are just subbing like crazy. I love it. Lone Star 43 subbed yesterday. Thank you so much for the follow. Enzo Sorrell, thank you, Enzo, for the follow on Twitch. I really appreciate it. And then we've got, let's see here. Make sure that catches up. Then we've got Eileen Deneau Complitier. Thank you so much for the follow. Man, we've got a lot of follows here in the last 24 hours. We've got Will24. Thank you so much for the follow. Alex Milius. I'm waiting for this to, there we go. Alex Milius, thank you so much for the follow. That's Will24 Hours. Thank you. Alex Milius, thank you. Vargas BZ, thank you so much for the follow. And I think that's everyone on Twitch. And then, of course, just another special shout out for Simon Fly DB. Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it, guys. Okay, so thank everybody there. Want to say hello to everyone in the live chat. Okay, here. Yeah, sorry about, okay, so I'm kind of figuring out how to launch live streams from this new software. So I apologize for all the test streams and the stream that had the that started and then stopped. For some reason, it started on YouTube but didn't start on Twitch, so I had to stop them both and re-enter the stream key, and then get them both started on each. So I apologize. I see your message there, Ryan Baker. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for checking this out. I appreciate it. Okay, let's see here. We got Lord Ludacris. I see your guys' comments on my own little private live chat thingy here. Again, I'm gonna see if there is a widget that I can combine so everyone's comments show up on the screen, not just Twitch followers. But either way, I appreciate both of you guys. So let's see here. Adash Da Nagila, thank you so much. It has begun. Thank you for being here. Really happy dude, loving the new show. Thank you so much, really happy dude, for loving the new show. I really appreciate you being here. Morning Goblin, says Simon Fly. B Baker's here. You guys, damn, the love for this show is strong. Thank you so much for the follows. Before we get started with the Goblin problems, I wanted to just read a couple of comments from you guys on the YouTube channel, and also wanted to read an email that I got from Ilja Mat, who's also a subscriber to the show and a monthly donator to the show. So I really appreciate the donation you gave yesterday after the show, and then also the questions that you sent to me as well. I know you've been a long time fan of the show, so I appreciate the support. Ilja writes, "Hey Lou, I really loved your shows. For next time, would you please touch on your current take on the Nimitz incident and the aerial school sighting for a little while, and if something changed in how you think about these events? I know you asked me to help you to remind you to talk about in the show because of my previous questions, but I didn't get notified before it started, or perhaps I missed the notification. If that's not possible for some reason, then that's okay, and I can understand. I'm just curious, maybe you want to reply here instead of bringing this back up in the show." I'll be more than happy to answer those questions, Ilja. Thank you for the question. So yes, my take has definitely changed on the Nimitz. Let me start with that. First of all, I think the biggest thing for me is the time discrepancy between David Fravor and Alex Dietrich. I think that's one thing. I think another thing is knowing that there's a recording out there of Sean Cahill basically saying that nobody liked David Fravor. He knew that this was fake, and talked about, how big his ego is. Basically, Jeremy McGowan quoted exactly what Sean Cahill said in these recordings, and you could go to his blog and check those out. Those recordings are real. I can tell you for sure. So that's another thing. Also, just the fact that the Spy 1 radar system was a brand new radar system that was being installed at the time, which I think lends itself to people like Kevin Day making mistakes on the radar system. Even though, I'm not a radar professional. That's just my opinion on it. I'm not saying that to insult any radar professionals out there. But when a new system's being installed, they're going to go through bugs. They're going to work things out, and maybe sometimes they think they have it figured out, but really they don't. And more dialing in of that system has to be done before it's 100% functioning properly. I think that's highly likely to have happened. I don't think any of the people on the ship were able to see the Nimitz interact or the planes interact with the Tic Tac UFO. This idea of looking at this incident through binoculars is so ludicrous to me. Because the planes were hundreds of miles away from the Nimitz, and so looking at that incident through binoculars or saying that you saw the incident I don't think it's accurate. So that's what changed my mind on the Nimitz. Personally, I think the Nimitz incident was Black Project stuff. We do have transmedium vehicles like missiles that are launched from submarines and combust and take off in our atmosphere, and then eventually, make their way to space. So that is technically a transmedium vehicle. They move strangely, they move quickly, and yeah. So I think it's more likely that it's that. And again, just the time difference between Fravor's sighting of the Tic Tac versus Dietrich's sighting of the Tic Tac is she saw it. She said her whole experience was, I think, maybe 10 seconds. And I think I'm being very generous with that versus David Fravor, which it was like a 15-minute event. So which one was it? And why is the discrepancy so big? So that's what changed my mind on that. As far as the aerial school sighting, a compelling case. But the red flags for me on that case are the fact that I learned after I saw the film, and this was sort of a slap in the face with a little bit of cold water, is the fact that thank you so much, Ron Rowe. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Is the fact that where was I? The aerial school sighting is the fact that John Mack, all of his research was funded by Bob Bigelow. And I think it's pretty clear as day how and why Bob Bigelow got into this conversation. And the things that he's done with the MUFON files and making everything inaccessible as far as Skinwalker Ranch research is concerned, not being available to answer any sort of questions when it comes to the whole NIDS time period. There's a lot of red flags when it comes to Bob Bigelow, and the fact that he was the guy behind funding a lot of John Mack, if not all of John Mack's research, huge red flag. And I think John might have influenced those kids in a lot of way and sort of getting them to think what they saw. Although that doesn't explain the reporter, the BBC reporter. I wish that gentleman was still alive so we can go back and interview him and really just see if we could add a little bit more grounded reality to it, especially stepping away from it from so long. But obviously we'll never get the chance to do that because he's passed away. But I mean, that's probably the most compelling part of the entire documentary for me. The kids' memories of this thing does not hold any water for me. Because again, like if I can't take my experience when I was 13 years old and use that as a valid, sort of check mark of proof, then I'm not going to take it from a bunch of other 13-year-old kids and a 40-year-old memory. Memories change, and we've talked about this a billion times. Every time you access a memory, your brain doesn't access the actual memory from when you remembered it. It accesses the last time you remembered it. So especially if it's a traumatizing event or it's an event you remember like very well, it's a copy of a copy of a copy for an infinite amount of times, and by the time you get to the freshest copy when your mind thinks of it, it's changed significantly. And we've shown over and over again that eyewitness testimony is the least reliable data point out there, period, full stop. So as compelling as those eyewitness testimonies are, I can't, it's not proof. It's just not. I'm sorry. So, we need a better standard of proof than that. We've got plenty of stories. We've got plenty of eyewitness account. We've got more than enough of that data. We need other kinds of data now. Now the burden on proof is on the people making the claims, right? So, I hope those answered your questions. And if you guys have questions, put them in all caps, and I'll try to see them here on today's chat. But it might be hard just because I'm getting used to this OBS, doing the Church of Ufology on OBS. It's the first time I've ever done it. Usually I'm just streaming video games from here, and it's much simpler. So okay, cool. But the cool thing is that now you'll get to see all my stream games on YouTube as well. So anytime I stream, I'm going to be streaming from here. So whether on YouTube or Twitch, subscribe to both if you can. And yeah, tell people about the show. Okay, so those are the questions I got in email. And then I wanted to pop over to the comments some of the comments that have been popping in here the last few days. It's been really cool. Let's see here. There was a question here. Man, that's just funny. Okay, so like, yeah, there's just been really great comments. Okay, so Jordan Mack said, for what it's worth, Lou, and I say this with love, Corbell did say in one of his recent episodes something along the lines of, now Bob can testify to Congress. And let me bring this up here for you guys so you guys can see it as well. Bob can now testify to Congress, not that it means anything. You're right, Jordan Mack, he did say it once, but he's never petitioned for it. He's never been a loud voice to make it so. And the thing is he's got the influence. Sure, you can say it once. You know, like, that's why I started the Big Phone Home, because saying it once doesn't do anything. You have to say it over and over and over and over and over again before people get it. Hashtag Lazar to Congress. He needs to be more vocal, and he needs to get people organized, right? Because if he believes 100% with his heart, wholeheartedly, that Bob Lazar is telling the truth, it's the greatest discovery in the history of man. And those programs should be revealed. So he should be the loudest voice anywhere to get Bob Lazar to testify in Congress. The loudest voice. So saying it once doesn't mean anything. And again, like, you know, I would hear, the thing that inspired the Big Phone Home was listening to the podcast. And at the end of the podcast, they'd, you know, every once in a while they'd say, you know, if you want to change something, if you want to really, really change something, call your senator, call your congressman, call your lawmakers. And that's true. It's just not very inspiring. So that's why I was like, well, shit, let's all do it together on the same day. Let's all call our congressmen and senators and stuff, you know? And so, and here's the thing, right? And let me just be 100% clear. If Jeremy Corbell tomorrow started a website called Get Bob Lazar to Congress, or Testify Bob Lazar, or Bob Lazar goes to Congress.com, or hashtag Bob or Lazar to Congress, and he started a legitimate initiative to do that, I would back it up 100%. No matter my personal feelings about the stories that he's told, I would back him up 100%. But I will bet you anything he doesn't do it. I'll bet you, I will stop this show if he does a 3-month-long campaign, builds a website, and demands all of his followers and people to call lawmakers to get Bob Lazar to testify in front of Congress. I will quit this fucking show. I will walk away from it if Jeremy Corbell does that. I'll fucking walk away. I'll shut the fuck up forever. Forever. You want to get rid of me? That's how you do it. Scout's honor. I will go away if you do that, if you meet those requirements. But we won't see it. Hell, I will fucking leave UFO Twitter and this entire channel if you can get Bob Lazar and Eric Weinstein and Joe Rogan in the same room. Without you. Without you to save his ass. And enter in your bullshit. If you do either one of those two things, I'll go away forever. Forever. But it'll never happen, because that would get to some truth. That would get to some actual hardcore bone-cutting truth. And that truth is Bob Lazar is full of shit. And we talked about a lot of reasons why yesterday. Anyway, okay. So I wanted to read that comment. That was a great comment. And so I wanted to address that. And then there's just a lot of love. Just a lot of love from you guys. And I gotta say, I got a real kick out of it. You know, so Birchwood loved our Mandalorian episode 2 review. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. It was a lot of fun. Complizier says this was a very entertaining show. Thanks, Lou. By the way, Bob Lazar could be the next best exhibit on a remake of Pimp My Ride Reloaded. I've been watching this for 45 minutes. I don't know what this is, but it's very enjoyable. I guess Lou felt moved to do a stream in consciousness live stream about Lazar. What the fuck? Yeah, basically. And I'm going to be doing a lot of these. And by the way, we're only doing this Today Show for about an hour. Yeah, so there was, $10 donation here from Idja. Thank you again for that. I was late to the party, 6 hours late, LOL. Got 115. I know Bob does it. Storm Area 51. I wonder who's producing that piece of shit. I love when I get quoted. Love it. Grant Levac in the house. Thank you so much for the love, Grant. Blondie is a red flag because her name isn't Blondie, it's Debbie Harry. No one who works on the set with a band would ever refer to them by the band name. Blondie has several members. Debbie is only one of them. Dude, that's such a great point. Such a great point. And if you don't know what we're talking about, Bob Lazar, yesterday when we were doing the show, we found out that Bob Lazar was telling people stories about Blondie doing heroin on the set of a music video. What a joke. What a joke. Hold on, my girlfriend's calling, guys. Give me All right. Sorry. Life happens, You gotta do what you gotta do. All right. So let's get to Sean Cahill, shall we? So I've got some bookmark stuff here, and I've just been bookmarking stuff here and there. Stuff that I kind of want to just talk about. I love this video that Corbell put out that he shared from Zeta Reticuli of him. You know what? Let's listen to it.
Very skinny object compared to... So this is a UFO filmed over Iraq, and it shows an object that passes through in video. As you can see, this is a very skinny object compared to its length. That this object flew under controlled flight with intelligent control across the screen from left to right. So I'm going to put this in big bold letters on the screen. Not a rocket. You would see, if this was a rocket, you would see white.
Oh, hey guys, he put it on the screen in big bold letters. Not a rocket. So case closed, guys. Not a rocket. It's not a rocket. I just love how he shared a video of somebody who edited to just the conversation they had. It was the exact same clip. They just zoomed in a little bit and put "not a rocket" in big bold letters, and then this guy shared it like, "Great work." Like, this is just amazing. So good. It's embarrassing. Anyway, okay, so this is the controversy from yesterday. Rather, my only follow on Twitter now, Rather Be Squidding, tweeted out, "Anyone catch the UAP video of Minty Hyperspace captured on Lou Elizondo's property? Kind of interesting what passes for UAP these days, although maybe Lou's got some hitchhikers." So this was a post from yesterday that was on Reddit, but I think it's whoever wrote it took it down. Yeah, it was deleted by the person who originally posted it, which is interesting. I don't know why they would take it down, because it seems like Reddit has basically figured out that this video is kind of bogus sauce. So right here is the video that Sean Cahill posted a while back. So this is, let's see if there's any information on this guy. Unraveling the Universe. He was on a podcast and he shared this. And there's no video to it, but there's the craft there. You know what? Let's see if we can expand this for you guys. So there it is there. He took this, cue the X-Files music. Right, so he takes this video, he posts it, and talks about it on a podcast, and gives no context to it whatsoever. Because it's mysterious. It has to be mysterious. And the fact that it's filmed by Sean Cahill means it's legitimate. It's real. This is a real mysterious object. And the thing that is the biggest red flag for me is why on God's green earth did you not tell anyone that you filmed this on the property of Lou Elizondo? I think that's an important piece of information. Because if you told people when you originally released this that you filmed it on Lou Elizondo's property, then all sorts of bullshit alarms start going off. Because it's like, okay, what are the odds that you're sitting on Lou Elizondo's ranch in Idaho? And by the way, there's 3 airports very close to this location. And this could be a plane. Somebody had put a theory out there of it's a delivery van on a road on the mountain in the back, which is pretty decent. It could be a glider. It could be a million things that are terrestrial and very normal. And here's the other thing. For standard of evidence, you dicks, you guys put out the standard of evidence of the 5 observables. Right? Everybody remember the 5 observables? Why is it every single fucking video that we get has not one of the 5 observables? Not one. Can anybody answer me that? Anyone? Corbell, Knapp, Cahill, Elizondo. Why have we not seen one video of the 5 observables from a verified source? The reason why it matters we should know where this was filmed is because if you'd said it was Lou Elizondo's house to begin with, I think a lot of people would have automatically started doing their homework, trying to figure out where this mountain range is, what's near it, and they would have tried to figure it out. Figure it out. But because you didn't give anybody the location, you just put the mystery out there, thinking that nobody would figure out. Because, I mean, who would, right? I don't blame you. I don't blame you if I was possibly faking some bullshit UFO video on some random mountain range in Idaho. Or we didn't even know it was Idaho, just a random mountain range. We don't even know the location. Because you didn't give us that. You just put the mystery out there. And then here we are a few months later or a few days later, whatever it was, we find out, because the internet rules, that this is Lou Elizondo's fucking house. And that Lou Elizondo has taken a picture in front of the exact same mountain range. And you wonder why people are calling you full of shit? You wonder why people don't trust you guys? You wonder why you have haters and backstabbers and traitors and enemies. It's because of shit like this. It's so ridiculous. And then I love this idea that, and by the way, let me share what Rather had to say about it. Hit him up in the Reddit today. And so, Rather said, can't make it today, unfortunately, because I was seeing if he wanted to be here, but don't know if you saw, but Dave Scott was tweeting under his Spaced Out Radio account that Cahill showed the vid to him a year ago, and that it was a, quote, great catch. Quote, friends of unknown. So he lied. He had this a year ago, and then he told Dave Scott it came from friends of unknown. Which suggests that Cahill was talking about the video much differently back then versus his tweets about it today. True believers or grifters, either way, don't trust their judgment. And that's exactly what posting this video does. It shows your piss poor lack of judgment. It's insane, dude. Absolutely insane. And so here we have, and I before Rather had told me that I did see Dave Scott, and actually that's why I wanted to talk about this, because I saw Dave Scott's sort of defending of this bullshit. The idea that people are going nuts over the location of Minty Hyperspace's released UFO video and whether or not it was Lou Elizondo's house is irrelevant. Why is that irrelevant? You're a journalist. You keep calling yourself this champion of journalism and you don't think that's relevant? Why? Why? I saw this video a year ago, kept it quiet in confidence. Oh man, what a good soldier. What a good little soldier you are. It was a great catch by Sean. What a bunch of bullshit. And then you got this guy of all people saying, I can't believe people in our community are harassing Lou and Sean over it. Oh no! This guy who fucking harasses anyone and everyone having to do with going against the Lou Elizondo agenda. Chris Wolford, the balls, the moxie, the gumption that you have to be like, you can't believe people are getting harassed for lying? You can't believe it. Rich. Hilarious. What a fucking sham you are. What a crock, dude. And so, let's see what Sean Cahill has to say about this. Shall we? See what good old Cahill's got to say. So he shares this tweet from Chris French and says, why do people think all of this is just BS, are just so obsessed with it? No disrespect to Sean, but whatever Sean saw is not significant. What is significant, it's to watch Kristen Gillibrand asking hard questions to DOD, and these questions are not based on Sean's sighting. Ooh, tough guy. Wow, what a great point. So great that Sean Cahill chimes in and says, Chris is correct. It has nearly zero long-run value, and it was presented as an addition to an anecdote with no claims made. Don't get caught up in the theater of being created by folks who can't fathom the unknown and are too lazy to look. Keep your focus on long-term deliverables. Is this, Sean Cahill, a long-term deliverable? This piece of shit video? This garbage? This is a long-term deliverable? You're setting the bar with this. You're putting this out there. What a joke. What a joke. This guy's telling us what to do. Hilarious, dude. Hilarious. So, that got me, of course, to thinking, well, let's check out this tough response from Senator Gillibrand. I mean, it's got to be really, really good, right? Like, it's just got to be the best thing ever. And this thing is being passed around UFO Twitter like it's the best thing since sliced bread. And she doesn't say shit. She doesn't say anything. Anything. Now, if your interest and your concern is national security and terrorist threats and our enemies putting listening devices over our most sensitive areas when it comes to nuclear facilities and nuclear weaponry, then yes, this is an absolute pawn of that issue. without a doubt. But to put this video up as some sort of confirmation that aliens and non-human intelligence are in our atmosphere is fucking pathetic. So let's listen to what Senator Gillibrand asks the National Security Council here, the Senate Intelligence Committee in the Hart Office building, and they're talking about global threats and national security. So let's see what she's got to say.
Act, Senators Rubio, Warner, Heinrich, Burr, Blunt, and I created the ARROW, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, to break down the stovepipes between the intelligence community and the military regarding unidentified aerial, marine, and other phenomenon, which could pose a risk to the safety of our service members, as well as collection risks against sensitive facilities and overseas military bases. As recent events have shown, we need more and better sharing between the intelligence community and our military, and the stigmatization.
I'm sorry, let's just go back and listen to it one more time, because I wanted to put it on full video here, but we don't need to see the video. We just need to hear it. And we see the video, but it's just a little smaller. But I want to be able to pause it and stop it, and also make sure that the levels are good here too. So apologies, but I'm gonna start over and just listen to what she's saying.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Director Haynes, in last year's Intelligence Authorization Act, Senators Rubio, Warner, Heinrich, Burr, Blunt, and I created the ARROW, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, to break down the stovepipes between the intelligence community and the military regarding unidentified aerial, marine, and other phenomenon, which could pose a risk to the safety of our service members.
Could pose a risk to the safety of our service members.
As well as collection risks.
Collection risks.
Against sensitive facilities and overseas military.
Sensitive facilities. Overseas military bases.
As recent events have shown, we need more and better sharing between the intelligence community and our military.
And as recent events have showed, they need better communication, i.e. Chinese balloons.
And the stigmatization of the service members and personnel who come forward with this data is unacceptable.
And the stigmatization is they're trying to kill it because our adversaries know how strong the stigma is around this topic, and they design these balloons and drones to look weird on purpose, so that way the stigma prevents the service member from reporting it. The stigma's not there because of aliens. Alien and non-human intelligence has not been mentioned once yet in this line of questioning. Let us continue.
Do I have a commitment from you and each of our witnesses that you will work to reduce stigma, share intelligence between agencies, and as you're able with the public to ensure that we understand what's happening in our skies and seas?
Do you commit to letting us know what these are? That's all she said right there. And do you commit to share information better and help reduce stigma for service member to report these things, these strange looking objects? Not aliens, not non-human intelligence, not controlled craft that are not Chinese and not Russian. None of that shit.
Yes, Senator, absolutely. And I agree with you that this is an issue, and it's something that we've been trying to work through, both by sending the message from leadership that this is important, but also creating mechanisms that allow for people to do this more easily and with less sort of stigma associated with it.
And is the ARROW office fully funded in your budget?
Yes, I believe it is.
Yes, I believe it is. You don't fucking know? I think we get yes, I believe it is 3 times out of 4 in this thing, which is like, you don't know 100% for sure if this office has been funded by the dollars that we sequestered for you to fund the office? Just say yes. Yes. I mean, I know I'm being real nitpicky on this one, but come on. Like, damn, dude.
Can you make sure? Because it was left off last year.
Can you make sure? Even Senator Jimenez like, really? You don't fucking know if the office is funded yet? And this is the office that is supposed to give us non-human craft and non-human intelligence and reverse engineered programs. They don't even know if the fucking program is funded. And you're sharing this video as some kind of victory lap? check your shit. Check your shit. Because if you're sharing this clip as a victory lap, you're not listening to what's being said.
So
from both the DoD and Intel's budgets.
So, right. So it's in DoD, but I think our support is funded in the National Intelligence Program, and we'll check to make sure on
So
the
everybody
DoD.
else can answer the question.
I believe it is funded.
Thank
I
you.
believe it is funded.
Yes.
Yes, one
I
yes.
support center.
Thank you.
Yes.
Support center.
Thank you.
I believe it is funded.
Thank you.
Yes.
I support center.
I support
Thank you.
Senator.
Yes.
What does that mean? And one yes, so two yeses. And then basically
A related,
four I don't fucking know.
somewhat question is the issue of IC's agency's assessment with varying levels of confidence that most reported incidents can be explained by medical conditions, environmental or technical factors, and that it's unlikely that a foreign actor, including Russia, is conducting a sustained worldwide campaign involving hundreds of incidents without detection with regard to the anomalous health incidents. And that report was...
They're talking about Havana syndrome. And we talked about this back, I think in October of last year. The director of the CIA himself came out and said, there's nothing to Havana syndrome. It's not a weapon from Russia or China. And when she's talking about this, she doesn't mean biological effects from humans interacting with the craft. She's specifically discussing Havana syndrome right now. And as far as I've seen, not one political advocate of this has linked Havana syndrome and non-human intelligence with Arrow and getting to the bottom of it. Not once, not anywhere. Challenge anyone, please show me the info on that if I'm wrong. See what else she says.
Was received in a very negative way by personnel who have been affected by their families, because it essentially says is there's no external cause, which I think is really problematic. I'm very grateful that the intelligence community has been determined to make sure that healthcare is being met and the healthcare needs, and that each of these...
So basically the Department of Defense has said, yeah, it's not Russia, it's not China, but we're still going to take care of these people that got sick. But we haven't gotten to the bottom of it. And it's not aliens. Like, I'm pretty sure that would have been put on the table if that's what it was. And even if it wasn't, she's asking for more information. Like, I don't know is not good enough. But again, this request has nothing to do with non-human intelligence in our atmosphere. Zero.
Service members and personnel are treated appropriately and humanely from that perspective. But I find it unacceptable that we are not continuing diligent analysis of possible causes. I do appreciate that the Department of Defense continues to do research in that regard, and I'd like General Barrier to give us an update on how you're looking at this issue and how you are continuing to assess possible causes as well as possible delivery mechanisms. And I'd like to include delivery mechanisms from above. So whether it can be delivered by a drone.
So and this is a good line of questioning, right? Because I don't think if these, and it seems like these cases are real within our intelligence communities, people getting sick at embassies and things like that, and families getting sick, and they're all in the same place at the same time, and they all get the same symptoms. It's happened. The CIA says it's not Russia, it's not China. We don't know what it is, but it's definitely not one of those. And Senator Gillibrand is saying, well, are you 100% sure on that? Can we look into it more? And I'd also like to put in for the record that maybe some of these UAP, other UAP, not non-human intelligence UAP, but unidentified craft in our atmosphere, not only delivering, say, an EMP device or a canister of anthrax or something like a sonic device that makes you feel sick. Those technologies exist. And if there's no budget to look for those things, the Department of Defense is not going to come back with any answers for it because nobody's fucking looking at it. And that's at the core of this issue. is we've got things in our sky that can deploy very dangerous weaponry in our atmosphere at an alarming rate, not only over U.S. territory, but over our embassies and our nuclear facilities and our bases around the world. They have not been paying attention to it, and the Arrow office and the Lou Elizondo narrative and the Cahill and the Gary Nolans, they are scrambling, and they'll use any story and anything to get the attention of Congress to look at this. And in the wake of that are us, the UFO people. We're the ones who get chopped up in the meat grinder while they're trying to get their shit together. It's us who brought attention to this topic. Yes, with the help of Lou Elizondo. Yes, with the help of Sean Cahill. Yes, with the help of Christopher Mellon and Tom DeLonge. But it was the UFO community who organized and got together and really brought attention to this issue. And because we brought attention to the issue, senators and congressmen and lawmakers are now going, oh shit, I thought this alien thing was just some goofy bullshit. And yes, it is. At the core of this, we've got a real fucking security issue, a real national security threat and safety issue for not only commercial pilots, but military pilots as well. And we possibly have a safety issue with our diplomats and overseas contacts being attacked by weapons that cause physical effects. And that's not alien tech. That's not, kooky Zeta Reticuli things that are being shot from spaceships and future people. That shit's real. We already have that. That technology exists. So if it exists, it's not hard to extrapolate that, maybe somebody's putting these things on really weird looking drones and balloons and firing them at our lawmakers and diplomats. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. They haven't even used it to cause real destruction and havoc in our community. And that's where shit gets scary. And that's what Senator Gillibrand is trying to prevent. And that's what Marco Rubio is trying to prevent. And that's what all of them, with regards of this maniac, this fucking Tim Burchett, like, he's the only one who thinks there's reverse engineering and aliens, but he's also the only one who believes the Bible's real, who bases all of his decisions on a book written in the Bronze Age. Doesn't believe a woman has a right to control her own body and decisions. Doesn't like gay people very much. This fucking guy. No other senator is saying what this maniac is saying. Not one. Not one. Why? This guy is not on one committee. Not one committee that he would be privy to know this information and whether or not the UAP are NHI, non-human intelligence. He's not on one security committee, not one. So when it comes to Tim Burchett giving us his Bible thumping and fucking theories on Ezekiel and reverse engineered programs, I'm sorry, but it's bullshit. And take it with a grain of salt. And if you're championing this Kristen Gillibrand moment, questioning Avril Haines in the National Security Council, you're dumb. You're dumb, and you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. You're part of creating this fucking frantic rush to be in a cult instead of just being straight with people. Why doesn't a reporter ask a follow-up question to Senator Gillibrand and ask her to be more specific about exactly what she's talking about? Does she believe that these things, giving these Havana syndrome type events, does she believe that those are alien craft, non-human intelligence craft, doing those to our diplomats? I think she'd say no. People like Chris French and Chris Wolford and Spaced Out Radio, they love the mystery. They don't like asking any hard questions at all. At all. And Dave Scott, you've told me some shit. You've experienced some really shady shit. And for you to defend this bullshit the way you're doing, you're just keeping yourself safe so you don't lose your access to these guys. I like you. You're a nice guy. It's nothing. It's not a personal attack. It's not an ad hominem thing. But you don't ask hard questions. And your defense of this is pathetic. Especially after what you told me. And what Science Bob fucking blew the can on a few months back. Unreal how much you guys defend these people. It's very telling. Very, very telling. So that's it, you guys. That's the show. Unreal. This is where we're at in ufology, guys. This is the standard of evidence that we're getting every day. We're getting people sharing, lawmakers talking about a very real problem that has nothing to do with fucking aliens. Nothing. Trust me when I tell you, they are way more concerned with a fucking commercial pilot flying into one of these things. They're way more concerned with a chemical attack from one of these things. They're way more concerned with some sort of nuclear facility attack with one of these things. And I think they're starting to hypothesize and be concerned that, hey, maybe this Havana syndrome stuff is coming from these things as well. And we really need to destigmatize a lot of this stuff so our service men and women are not hesitant to report it. And those are very real, very visceral issues that cause concern to lawmakers. And depending on what security council you sit on, could keep you up at night. And it doesn't have to be alien to keep you up at night. It really fucking doesn't. And it's not. And I think all of the leaks, all of the lack of data, all of the lack of clarity when it comes, the lack of science, the lack of physicists, the lack of funding, when it comes to non-human intelligence, it's clear as day. This is a smokescreen to hide our tech and to hide a massive hole in our national security system and an embarrassment to the Air Force. The Air Force should be fucking embarrassed by this because this has been happening for 15 or 20 years now and they've just ignored the problem. And that happens. That happens, right? Like, it happens. Sometimes you got to put a problem on a back burner and you forget about it. And by the time you get to it, it's overflowing and it's an issue and you need to take it off the burner. And I think that's what we are in the process of doing. This issue has overflowed to where now people are seeing them in the skies. They predicted that this would start happening just based off of how many incursions they were seeing and reporting. I believe there's hundreds of reports of UAP coming in every month. But I think 99.99999999999% of them are terrestrial explanations. It's wild, man. It's just wild what you guys let these folks get away with. Really. I mean, we could be better, I guess is what I'm saying. We are, and when I say we, the community should have a much higher standard for when shit like this happens and should have no problem calling out Sean Cahill when he puts out bullshit videos like this. It's not harmless. It's not harmless. Okay? And the fact that you didn't give any details about it and it's been floating around there for a year, people have been thinking this is an alien ship filmed in some random place. and it was filmed at Lou Elizondo's house. That's just like a huge red flag. To just, what are the odds that you were at Lou Elizondo's house in Idaho and a once in a lifetime event happens and you caught it on film? Boy, come on now. Anyway, y'all, I hope you had a good time. I had a good time. That was fun to get that off my chest. I hope you guys had a good time as well. You know what? We could have gone with this setup, but we didn't. Oh, look at that. See, our new follower thing is for some reason stopped working again. No surprise there. But I know we got some new followers here in the last few minutes. So before I get out of here, I want to say hello to you guys. Ron R0, Ron Rowe, thank you so much for the follow. Really appreciate it. And everyone else who followed as well, you guys. It's been an absolute pleasure being here with you guys. I love seeing all of these chats. It's great. It's great. I love it. Okay, guys. So let's see here. It's Thursday. I've got a rehearsal tonight, so no live stream games tonight. Tomorrow, we will definitely be live streaming some games, so tune in tomorrow for that. Saturday, Sunday, I will be off, no streams, and then we'll kick it off next week on Monday with our Last of Us Episode 9 review. And we're going to do Mandalorian Episode 3, and of course, more Church of Ufologies here and there, and more game streams. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. Again, like, share, subscribe. Check out the links in the description below. If you want to join our Patreon, it's a it's a great way to help the show. For example, today I had to spend $190 today to make this possible. To make YouTube and Twitch stream at the exact same time so nobody has to jump through hoops to watch this show. I went through a whole bunch of stuff to see, okay, what's going to work best, and you got to pay to play, baby. You got to pay to play. I could have done it for free, but the internet connection you need to run those other free softwares, I think would have killed the stream. So I decided to pay for it to make sure that it works, and it works. So I don't, if it's for the show, I'll do it. But that's why we've got tip jars, you guys. So all of that money that goes into tip jars goes to making this show better. And sometimes it goes to helping me pay my bills. If you want to do that, awesome. If you don't worry about it. Every single episode and everything is free. No, if you pay $0 or if you pay $1 billion. Doesn't matter. All right. So you guys, thank you for the support. Have an absolutely killer night. And until next time, stay safe out there, y'all. Peace. Hold on a second, you guys. I want the, I didn't set up the goodbye screens. The thank you for watching screen. Here we go. Here we go. Hold on a second, you guys. Let me paste this in here. So that way, now you guys get music with the final screen here. And then let me also add a new picture in here. So that way, when we end the shows, we could do it on this guy. At least when we're doing Church of Ufology. I love that Burt Reynolds picture, though. But that's for our game stream. That's for our game stream, y'all. That's for the game stream. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go, y'all. Let me do this. And then, boom. Look at that. Look at that. All right, baby. Y'all. Oh, wait, real quick. Did we just get a new follow? I think we did. We did. And I want to say hello before we officially end the show. Daskoi Donburi. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. All right, y'all, for real. Now I'm really out of here, and now y'all got music when I do. All right? Peace.